filibustering by Pan-Democrats in Lechko.
They also criticized radical lawmakers for delaying policies aimed at improving people's livelihoods. Shouting slogans against violence and filibustering and waving placards and banners, the protesters gathered at Harbour Road Garden before marching to the central government offices at Tamar. The march was organized by the Federation of Trade Unions, which says people are fed up with rowdy and violent behavior by radical lawmakers in Lechko, as well as their filibustering tactics, which have delayed policies aimed at helping the poor and the needy. Several protesters vented their anger over the behavior of some Pan-Democrats. Why are they delaying the subsidy for elderly people at the Finance Committee? Asked this protester. The money is important for them. This protester said people must come out to show the Pan-Democrats that they do not represent the majority of Hong Kong people, and she does not agree with their tactics. This parent said the members' violent behavior sets a bad example for children. Union spokesman Ng Chao Pei said they want to send a message to some lawmakers that they are fed up with them affecting the normal operations of the council. Traffic was brought to a halt as the protesters marched along the streets of Wan Chai. The protesters then dispersed peacefully once they had reached their destination. Organizers claim 2,000 people turned up for the rally, while police put the figure at 1,200. In a separate march organized by the Voice of Loving Hong Kong, protesters walked from Patterson Street to the police headquarters in Wan Chai. They chanted slogans against violence and the Occupy Central movement and voiced their support for the police to maintain law and order. Many protesters slammed Occupy's plan to block traffic and the normal flow of life in the district, which they say will affect peace in society. The group says it's right for the police to carry out operations against those who break the law and take part in illegal activities. The organizers claim 2,500 people took part in the rally, while police put the figure much lower at 340. There was another anti-violence protest at today's City Forum, where lawmakers were discussing how to improve relations with the government.
Noisy audience members repeatedly tried to drown out what the politicians were trying to say. Here's Winner Wong.
There was drama at today's City Forum, which ironically was aimed at improving relationships. The topic was the deteriorating relationship between government officials and lawmakers. But before discussions could even begin, a member of the audience rushed in and occupied the center of the table. He raised a sign against political group People Power before being removed by plainclothes policemen. Federation of Trade Unions lawmaker Wong Kwok Hing said both sides are at fault for the rotten relations right now. But he said it was especially worrying how some Lechko members are becoming more and more extreme. It's as if they're competing to see who can be more violent, he said, quoting lawmaker Wong Yuk Man throwing a glass at Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying during a question and answer session as an example. Wong said Wong Yuk Man was upset that other Pan-Democrats were stealing his spotlight, so he wanted to do something to get all the attention. He said lawmakers are setting a bad example for the public and called for peaceful, non-violent discussions. But his colleague Albert Chan disagreed, saying today's violence by lawmakers is nothing compared to what the Federation of Trade Unions did in the 1960s when they made homemade bombs to attack British police. Chan went on to slam the Executive Council, accusing it of not bothering to discuss issues with legislative councillors.
During the policy formulation process, there was virtually no communication. At the time they decided to consult Lechko, sometimes Lechko will vote against or oppose the government proposal, but the government didn't listen.
Throughout the event, audience members repeatedly shouted remarks or made noises to disrupt the speakers they didn't like.
Well, I urge the administration, they should improve their communication and liaison with the counselor, either to have a small group meeting or to contact them more often, not to just write on the blog and put forward their message. There should be meaningful and sincere contact between the officers and also the counselors.
Liberal Party lawmaker James Tian agreed with Chan that officials should communicate better with lawmakers. Winna Wong, ATV News.
It's going to be a sleepless night for the nearly 80,000 students across the city who find out their Diploma of Secondary Education exam results tomorrow.
A scramble for university places is set to begin as more than a third of the students have met the minimum entry requirements.